Hey everybody, Tim and Chucky here for another Star Wars review. We are doing Rogue One this time. What'd you think?
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. I loved it. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. The first being Return of the Jedi. I don't know. It was just, to me, it was so unexpected because this was one of the first departure movies from the main storyline. And then I was kind of impressed with how many tie-ins it had, because so you've never seen Clone Wars, the cartoon?
No.
Saw Gerrera comes from that. Mon Mothma is in it. She was the woman towards the end of episode 6. Yeah. And she was supposed to be in episode 3, but they cut her scenes out. So she's kind of older in episode 6, so her character in episode 3 is really young. Younger than Padme. So that movie to this one, it's been a decade. So now she's actually about the right age. So it's the same woman from episode 3. Bail Organa's in it. That's Princess Leia's adopted father. He's at the end of episode 3, where he takes the baby. And it's kind of, his part makes me sad because the end of the movie where he's like, I know a Jedi in hiding and I'm gonna go back to my planet of Alderaan and get this sorted out. Well, he dies in a couple days when they blow up Alderaan. What? So one of the big controversial topics for this, that I'll see what you think, is Grand Moff Tarkin, played by Peter Cushing in episode 4. The dude's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the animation.
Oh, I loved it. I thought he looked so good. I could tell he's computer, but I still thought he fit in. I loved it. No,
they could have just hired Death from Supernatural. I would have been just as happy.
Oh, but it's Peter Cushing. It's great. Oh, it's kind of funny because I've seen this with other people, and again, this movie's already 4 years old at this point. But I mean, I've watched it with people who didn't even realize that he was a cartoon. Just didn't even click, and I was it's great.
I said that motherfucker's fake.
He still looks good. Which I think it's funny because I think he's in this movie more than he was in the original one, and he's not even in this one. Probably my favorite character is the robot.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Played by Alan Tudyk. He's great.
He doesn't trust nobody.
And the whole scene where he's supposed to stay in the ship and they're shooting everybody, and then a droid that looks just like him comes up and they shoot that one, and he's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" And they're like, "Ooh, maybe." Sure are a lot of explosions for 2 people laying low. And then the other part where he's like, "No hostiles." And the guy comes up with a gun. There's a hostile. There's a hostile. Yeah, just everything about his character I loved. Them putting a blind guy in a blindfold.
That was pretty funny.
The whole movie just has this subtle humor to it. And then again, the droid part, his death scene where he actually picks up a guy, and it's the cliche, I want to beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker, because he just starts swinging this trooper, just beating people. But I don't know, the whole thing was good. Really sad. Everybody dies. That's a spoiler, but
Whoops.
Every single character. So kind of sad. I don't know. So for you,
it wasn't the worst Star Wars I've ever seen.
Oh, that's good. What is?
Starting to think the first 3 after rewatching them. Sadly.
Yeah. That's what most people say.
Yeah. They're the hardest to get through.
Just wait till we watch the next 3. Okay. What did you think of the connections to episode 4 and episode 3?
I mean, it's cool that they're doing all this stuff now, but then again, they have that opportunity. All of this shit's been out for 30 years, and they can sit here and create bigger storylines with stuff that's already been.
That's kind of where this movie came from, is because legit, you don't even need this movie. This movie is just the opening scrawl to episode 4, where they're rebels have stolen the plans.
That's the one part I don't like about it, is you can get away with watching Star Wars and knowing nothing about this movie, never watching this movie, and it wouldn't take away from Star Wars at all.
But the reason they did that is because Star Wars came out in 1977, so for the last 40 years, the fanboys are like, why is there an exhaust port that you can shoot and blow up the whole Death Star? That's stupid planning.
This movie was created to keep the fanboys
and
away.
The whole movie was just to be like, fuck you, there you go, there's your reason.
Exactly.
But I do think, like, Darth Vader has the most badass scene. Like, where he has the lightsaber and everything.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is a lot of people, like, complained about Darth Vader. Like, he comes up with a cheesy line where he's like, don't choke on your aspirations. And they're like, Darth Vader wouldn't say that. Like, if you go back and you watch the originals, like, he has some snarky...
He would say some shit like that.
Yeah, he's a snarky little...
Fuck Anakin.
And that's who it is. Okay, so that's all I got. Pretty short and sweet. Like, and that's the thing. This is such a simple movie. Like, there's not a much to it, but that's what I kind of find enjoyable. Like, it's not like this big, complex idea. So,
it was simpler, but
I don't know. So thank you guys, and we will see you next time.
Well.